you for tuning in to your one and only Track and Field Bleacher Report. I'm your host, the official trackhead here, coming to you with a recap of this weekend's NCAA Division One SEC Conference Championships. Thank you for tuning in. If you haven't already, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss out on any of the upcoming action. This past weekend, we had the Mega SEC Conference Championships that was hosted at the Texas A&M University. We had some really fast times, really good performances put down. Of course, the SEC is very much known for their sprint talent, and they showed up and showed out as expected. In the men's 60, we had a surprise winner, Kenzo Cotton. I wouldn't say he's a surprise winner because Kenzo Cotton, as I have called him on the channel, is Mr. Consistency. He always does well. He always places high, especially at the SEC conference. But this is actually his first individual SEC title. So he won the 60. Congratulations, Kenzo Cotton. He tied his PR in the process, running 6:59, taking down CJ Green from the University of Georgia, who also tied his PR running 6:62. And Raheem Chambers got third in that race from Auburn. He ran 6:63, which was off of his season's best of 6:60. So those times, that time actually puts Kenzo Cotton at number 4, ranked nationally. CJ Green is ranked nationally number 13, and Raheem Chambers was already ranked number 6 with that 6:60 that he ran earlier this season. In the men's 60-meter hurdles, we had the one and the only Grant Holloway. Of course, he won his third individual SEC title. So congratulations, Grant Holloway from University of Florida. He ran 7:53 in the process of winning, which is off of his season's best, his collegiate record holder time of 7:42. But all he needed to do was run a 7:53, which is still a really, really fast time. It's a great time. It's a great performance, but he didn't have to go all out in this race, and he was able to come away with the title. In the process, he beat Ruben Walters of Alabama. Ruben ran a 7:69, which is off of his season's best of 7:61 for the season. Ruben is the number 2 ranked collegiate performer of the season. So Ruben Walters and Grant Holloway, 1 and 2 at SEC. They're ranked 1 and 2 in the country right now. And third is someone who I have consistently talked about week in and week out from LSU, Damian Thomas, the freshman from LSU. He ran 7:82, which is off of his season's best of 7:75. Damian Thomas is the number 12 ranked hurdler of the season, but Damian Thomas has been really consistent, running around 7:75, running around 7:7, 7:8 every weekend, and coming in the top 3, winning a couple of the big invitationals. So Damian Thomas, I look for him at Nationals to have a breakout performance. In the men's 200-meter dash, we had Mustakeem Williams from the University of Tennessee. He won the 200-meter dash. It was wide open. I didn't know who was going to win it, and Mustakeem came out on top, which was a really good performance for him. He ran an overall PR of 20:55, so that's his PR both indoor and outdoor. So congratulations, Mustakeem Williams, taking down a very talented, tough field. Kenzo Cotton got second. He came back and got second in the 200 after winning the 60-meter dash. He ran an indoor PR of 20:61. Jerron Flournoy from LSU, he also set an indoor PR running 20:62 and getting third in the men's 200-meter dash. I figured Jerron would have a big breakthrough in the 200 because he was very consistent all season, running around 20.8, 20.9 every week. So I figured that he would have a big drop in his times, and he surely did. He looked really good at SEC, so we'll see if he continues that path at Nationals. So right now, that leaves Mustakeem Williams ranked number 6 nationally, Kenzo Cotton ranked number 10 nationally, and Jerron Flournoy ranked number 11 nationally. So all 3 of those individuals, we'll probably definitely see them at Nationals in the men's 200. In the men's 400, we had Akeem Bloomfield from the University of Auburn. He won. He was a victor, coming through at 45:22. That's off of his season's best of 45:02. In the process, he beat Nathan Strother from Tennessee. Nathan ran 45:59, which is slightly off of his season's best of 45:56. In the prelims, we had Robert Grant from Texas A&M run an overall PR of 45:84. He didn't do so well in the finals, but in the prelims, he ran 45:84, so that was the time that will qualify for him for Nationals. He's now ranked the number 8th individual in the 400. And his teammate Malik Curley, also in the preliminary rounds, ran 45:88, which is the season's best time for him. That ranks him number 10 nationally. And Malik didn't fare too well in the finals as well. He didn't lower his time that he ran in the prelims, but the prelim time secured a spot for nationals, so we'll see him again in nationals. In the men's 4x4, we had Texas A&M come out on top with the victory. A few weeks ago, when they ran against Florida and USC, Texas A&M got third in that race behind Florida, and of course USC set the collegiate record in the 4x4. But at the SEC championships, Texas A&M was able to avenge their loss over Florida, running 3:02:35, which is the season's best for them, and they're still ranked the number third team of the season. Florida ran 3:02:65, which was slightly over their season's best, and so they are still, by the time they ran a few weeks back, they are still ranked ahead of Texas A&M, and they're now the number 2 time of the season. And then Arkansas was third in that race, running 3:04:53, and that puts them as the number 5 team of the season in the men's 4x4. So we'll see how that shakes out at nationals. The women's 60-meter dash went pretty much as expected, with Micaiah Briscoe from LSU, the season-leading performer in the women's 60, coming out with a victory, running 7:10. That was slightly off of her season's best time. That was ran at altitude of 7:08. So actually, that was pretty much tied that same time. So she pretty much tied that same time because the Texas A&M is not at altitude. When she ran the 7:08, that was at altitude. So she pretty much tied that time. Her teammate Aaliyah Hobbs got second from LSU, running at 7:14, which was off of her season's best of 7:12. Janelle Smith from the University of Auburn got third. She tied her season's best and her PR of 7:18 in that race. And her teammate Natalia White from the University of Auburn as well ran a 7:19, and that tied her season's best and PR from 2018. So it was LSU 1 and 2, Auburn 3 and 4. So LSU Tigers versus the Auburn Tigers, and the LSU Tigers came out on top. So congratulations to the LSU Tigers taking down the Auburn Tigers, coming out on top. In the women's 200-meter dash, we had a really phenomenal performance by the freshman Lena Irby from the University of Georgia. She ran an overall PR of 22:66, looked very strong, looked very fit in that race, looked very good in that race, and I think she could potentially run that race at nationals as well as the 400, in my opinion. And she may be your national champion, but she looked like she could definitely be a national championship contender in the 200. She ran your season's best 200 time, which she's ranked number 1 nationally. She didn't race in the same heat as Micaiah Briscoe, but Micaiah Briscoe got second. She was in the first heat. From LSU, she ran 22:81, which is an overall PR for her. Also, Kael Clark from University of Kentucky, she ran in the same heat with Micaiah Briscoe, and she got third in the overall, running 22:83, which is an overall PR for her. So the top 3 podium finishers all set overall PRs in this race. So it was a fast race. That leaves Lena Irby, like I said, number 1 ranked nationally, Micaiah Briscoe ranked number 2 nationally, and Kael Clark from the University of Kentucky ranked number 4 nationally. In the women's 400-meter dash, we had the one and the only Sydney McLaughlin from the University of Kentucky. She took the pole, beat Lena Irby to the break, and was able to control and dictate the race, and was able to hold on just barely, but she held on to win the women's 400-meter dash, running a 50:52, which is an overall PR for her. And that was the number 1 time of the season, and almost breaking the collegiate record by Phyllis Francis. So that was a really good race. Coming in second was Lena Irby from Georgia, the freshman as well. The other freshman phenom running another overall PR of 50:62, which was a really great time and very close to the collegiate record as well. So 2 freshmen out of their first SEC Conference Championship 400-meter dash, getting close to breaking the collegiate record. So that's a lot of smoke right there. We'll see how they do for the remaining of the year to see if they actually end up breaking the collegiate record and to see what they can do at nationals. But in third in that race was Sharika Bennett from Florida. She ran a 51:81, which is off of her season's best of 51:64. Sharika Bennett remains your number 4 competitor nationally of the season. In the women's 60-meter hurdles, we had Jasmine Camacho Quinn from the University of Kentucky. She ran a 7:98, taking home the title. That was off of her season's best of 7:95. Jasmine Camacho Quinn remains the number 1 ranked hurdler going into nationals. getting second in the SECs was Janique Brown, the freshman from Arkansas, the surprise freshman from Arkansas who's having a really good season at the University of Arkansas. She ran a PR in the finals, running 8:04, and got second in SEC. So Janique Brown is now the number 8th ranked hurdler of the season. And third was Tonea Marshall from LSU. She ran 8:08. That was off of her season's best of 8:04. And Tonea Marshall, with that season's best of 8:04, is the number 7 ranked hurdler of the season. In the prelims, we had Tyra Davis from the University of Georgia, the freshman from the University of Georgia, running PR in the prelims. She had the fastest time in the prelims, running at 8:03. And so that 8:03 performance put her the number 6 ranked hurdler of the season, as well as Talia Brooks from the University of Arkansas. She ran a PR of 8:08 in the prelims, and that put her as the number 11 ranked hurdler of the season. So those ladies, we'll see them again at Nationals, and we'll see how they do against the rest of the competition in the nation. In the women's 800-meter dash, we had Sammy Watson from Texas A&M. She won the 800-meter dash over her teammate, Jasmine Frey. They came 1-2. Texas A&M came 1-2 at home. Sammy Watson ran 2:04.25, which is off of her season's best. And Jasmine Frey ran 2:05.42, which is also off of her season's best. So they are the number 1 and 6 ranked 800-meter runners of the season, with Jasmine Frey leading the way. In the women's 4x4, we had LSU surprisingly come out as your victor. I would have thought that it would have been between Florida and Kentucky, but with them being in the seeded heat, the race just didn't play out the way that they needed to for it to be a really fast race. But in the first heat, you had LSU running with other teams, and LSU was able to get control of the race and stay in the lead the whole way through. And LSU ran 3:30.85, which is the season's best for them, and that's the number 4 ranked team of the season. Kentucky got second, running 3:31.96, which is slightly off of their season's best. They're the number 8th ranked team of the season. And Texas A&M at home got third, running a 3:32.30, which is the season's best for them, and that puts them at the number 9th ranked team of the season. So good job there for those teams. So the SEC conference was a really good conference. We had some really good, like I said, really good performances. A lot of people stepped up. A lot of people had season's best, overall PRs. So it was a very good, very interesting conference to watch. It set the tone going into nationals. Now we have the landscape is out there for nationals, and now we know what's going to be coming forward. And once those teams declare their athletes in the next few days, we'll see who's running what at nationals, and we'll talk about it probably next weekend in my event analysis and preview for nationals. And so we'll be here talking about it probably next weekend. So tune in for that. So please subscribe, like, comment, talk about anything I missed at the SEC conference that you thought was noteworthy. I'm sure the DMR with Christian Schweitzer splitting 425 on the anchor, that was very much noteworthy. Their team as a whole didn't run a time that would have put them in the conversation for nationals. They didn't qualify for nationals, but a 425 split was very phenomenal, coming from way back and winning the race. That was definitely a good highlight. But it was also some other highlights that happened this weekend. I'm sure I left out a lot, but I just wanted to give you a recap of the SEC Conference Championships. Hope you enjoy. Thank you for tuning in.